Hi there, welcome to your channel Achieva Today. My name is Mirza Adam, and in this video we are going to discuss a very important subtype of past tense, which is past perfect continuous tense. Okay, so in this tense there are two different aspects. One is perfect and the other is continuous. So any action that began in past and it was in continuation, and after some time it was overtaken by another action. Okay, so this is its use. Action began in past, continued and finished at some given time in past. Alright, now let's take a look at the example. Jackson had been walking 4 miles a day before he got paralyzed. So here we have two different clauses. First clause is Jackson had been walking 4 miles a day. So this is the first clause. Here, this action, the action of walking, this action is in past perfect continuous. Okay. And the second clause is before he got paralyzed. Here we are using the structure of past indefinite tense. Okay. So this action was overtaken by the another past action, which is when he got paralyzed. Okay. So here I am using had, been and ing form of the verb. So had is denoting the perfect aspect, whereas ing form of the verb is denoting the continuous aspect. Okay, second example. We had been preparing our assignments for 3 hours when Rita joined us. Again, we have two different clauses. First clause says we had been preparing our assignments for 3 hours. So this is the first clause. So this is the example of past perfect continuous tense. And then we have the another clause which also took place in past when Rita joined us. So when Rita joined us, we had already been preparing our assignments for the past 3 hours. So here, these are the examples of past perfect continuous tense. So now we will see how to frame a sentence of past perfect continuous tense. Alright. So the basic formula is had been. We use had been. And after that, we use the continuous form of the verb, that is ing form of the verb. Okay. So if we have a positive sentence, that means an affirmative sentence. So it will be something like this. The example is, Kailash had been working with a musical band before his solo album was released. Okay, so let's have a look at the first clause. Okay, so it starts from here. Kailash had been working with a musical band. So this is the first clause. Okay, starting from here and it ends here. Kailash had been working with a musical band. Had been working with a musical band. So this is the first clause, and this is a sentence of past perfect continuous tense. And let me tell you one thing, that past perfect continuous tense in most of the cases is used with reference to some other action that also took place in past. Okay. So the other action is before his solo album was released. So here we have another verb that is in passive voice. Before his solo album was released. So this action took place later on, and this action took place earlier. Okay. So here I am using had, then been and working. So this shows the past perfect continuous tense. Okay. If we have a negative sentence, so what will be the structure of the sentence be like? The employee who was suspended had not been working for the organization since 2005. So the first clause is the employee had not been working. So this is the actual clause for the organization since 2005. This is the relative clause. Okay. So it is telling you something about the employee. Okay. The employee had not been working for the organization since 2005. Who was suspended? So this is a relative clause which is giving you an additional information about the employee, the subject. Okay. So here again we are using had, and after had we are using not and then been. So the negative word will be used in between. In between what? Had and been. Had not been. And after that we used the ing form of the verb working. So we did not use any other form but simply the continuous form. The employee who was suspended had not been working for the organization since 2005. Now I am using the word since. Why am I using the word since? Do you know the reason of it? The reason is so simple, because 2005 is a point of time. Okay, it's not a duration, it's not a gap, but it's a specific year. Okay, I'm not saying 1 year, 2 years. Okay, but I am mentioning a particular year, that is 2005, and that's the reason why I'm using since and not for. Otherwise, I would have used for if I would have said for 1 year, for 2 years. Okay. Now let's take a look at the sentence which is interrogative in nature. So interrogative sentences are the ones which are used for asking questions. Okay. It's again very easy, it's not so difficult. Had he been living in the hostel for 3 years before he owned a new house? So this is a question which is a polar question, okay, that demands an answer either positive or negative. Okay. So I am starting my sentence with the helping verb had. Then I am using the subject he. Okay. Had he, then been. Okay. Been is actually the third form of the word be. Okay. So this is the first form and this is the third form. So had he been living in the hostel. Now I am using the ing form. Okay. Had he been living in the hostel for 3 years. Now I am using the word for. So keep it in mind that before the duration we use for, and before the exact timing, exact date, exact year, we use the word since. Okay. Had he been living in the hostel for 3 years? This is the first clause, and second clause begins from here. Before he owned a new house. So this action also took place in past, but the first one shows the past perfect continuous tense. Okay. I'm sure that it is clear to you now. Now the second sentence. Second sentence is an example of a non-polar question. That means a question that demands specific information and a specific answer. So the sentence is like, where had you been working before the company opened this branch? Again, we have two different clauses. So I am starting my sentence with a question word, WH question word, that is where. Then I'm using had, that's the auxiliary verb here, the subject, you, and been. So this is the rule, we use had and been in past perfect continuous tense. Okay. And now I am again using the ing form. So don't forget, we will always be using had, been, and working everywhere with each type of sentence, irrespective of any sentence that you are making. But if it is past perfect continuous tense, you will always be using these three words: had, been, working. Sorry, working I actually means the third ing form of the verb. Okay. So working means any verb that will be in its ing form. So had, been, and ing, that means progressive form of the verb. Second clause, before the company opened this branch. So here, this action also took place in past, but the first clause is of past perfect continuous tense. I'm sure that this past perfect continuous tense is now clear to you. If you have any question, any doubt, you can ask me on the comment section. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to share this video with your friends who are learning English or who want to learn English. Thank you so much. Have a good day.